A single document sits inside Althorpe House. Diana said there were 3 of us in this marriage. Now William holds the proof. But the part nobody saw coming was not the document itself. It was who handed it over and what it means for the crown that Camilla now wears. Charles Spencer, 9th Earl Spencer, has guarded his sister's legacy at Althorpe for nearly 3 decades. His 1997 funeral eulogy did not grieve quietly, it indicted. The Althorpe archives hold letters, records, and private documentation the palace cannot touch. At least, that's what everyone thought could stay buried. How does someone go from grieving brother to institutional adversary holding evidence that threatens a queen? The answer begins in November 1995, inside a BBC studio, when Diana sat down for the most explosive royal interview ever recorded. He looked directly into the camera and told the world there were 3 of us in this marriage. She did not say Camilla Parker Bowles by name. She did not need to. 30 million people in the United Kingdom alone watched that broadcast, and every single one of them understood exactly who she meant. The interview became the single most consequential act of royal self-disclosure in modern British history. It shattered the carefully constructed image the palace had spent years building, and it named Camilla's shadow over the marriage in terms no press office could spin away. But here is what the public did not know at the time. The BBC's Martin Bashir used forged bank statements to manipulate Diana's aide Patrick Jeffson and gain access to Diana herself. Those documents were fabricated. They were designed to convince Diana's inner circle that she was being betrayed by her own staff, making her feel isolated, vulnerable, and in need of an outside voice. The part that got people angry came in May 2021, when the Dyson report confirmed what Spencer had long suspected. Lord Dyson's independent investigation found that Martin Bashir had used deceitful methods to secure the Panorama interview. The BBC had covered it up for 26 years. Spencer responded with language that was precise and devastating. He called it sheer dishonesty. He said the BBC had betrayed Diana at her most vulnerable. He did not hedge. He documented. Then Lord Dyson came forward with findings that went further than even Spencer's public statements had suggested, confirming that senior BBC figures had been aware of the deception. This is a matter of public record, confirmed by an independent legal inquiry commissioned by the BBC itself. Spencer saw it coming. He had been raising questions about the Panorama interview for years before the Dyson report landed. He told journalists, he told institutions, he wrote letters. Nobody listened. But Spencer kept building his file anyway, assembling a paper trail that now stretches across nearly 3 decades. What began as a grieving brother's instinct became something far more deliberate. A documented, sourced, time-stamped account of how Diana was manipulated and how the woman at the center of it all was denied the protection she deserved. Spencer would look back on this period and wish the institutions he contacted had made a different call. That file did not stay at Althorpe forever. For years, William maintained a careful public silence. He protected the monarchy's image, protected his father's transition, and carried his grief in private. That posture was deliberate and disciplined. William understood that the crown required stability, and he was willing to subordinate his own history to provide it. But the coronation of May 6, 2023, changed the calculation in ways that cannot be overstated. On that day, Camilla Parker Bowles was crowned Queen Consort inside Westminster Abbey. She wore Queen Mary's crown, a piece of royal regalia that carries enormous symbolic weight. She sat beside King Charles III in the position that, in another version of history, would have belonged to Diana. William was present. He witnessed it. And according to sources close to the Prince of Wales, something shifted in him that day in a way that quiet diplomacy could no longer contain. The relationship between William and his uncle Charles Spencer has deepened considerably in recent years. There have been visits to Althorpe, private conversations away from palace staff, and a shared understanding between 2 men who both loved Diana and both watched what happened to her. Spencer is not simply William's uncle. He is the keeper of a record that William has always known existed, but has only recently been positioned to act upon. William is now the Prince of Wales, heir apparent, the future King of the United Kingdom. He is no longer a grieving teenager standing at his mother's funeral. He is a 42-year-old man with institutional authority, political weight, and a growing understanding of exactly what his mother endured. The question circulating in private royal circles is not whether William has absorbed what Spencer has shared with him. The question is what William intends to do with it, and how long the palace can hold its breath waiting for the answer. This is where the story takes a turn nobody expected. The meeting between Charles Spencer and William did not happen in a palace drawing room surrounded by courtiers and protection officers. It happened away from all of that, with no official staff, no royal household witnesses, no record kept by anyone whose loyalty belongs to the institution rather than to the family. That detail alone tells you everything about the gravity of what passed between them. Spencer did not arrive with rumors. He did not trade in whispers or second-hand accounts. What he brought to William was documentation. Letters written in Diana's hand. Personal records assembled across nearly 30 years. Evidence that traces the circumstances of Diana's final years with a precision that no palace press release has ever been able to match or contradict. Spencer has been building this archive since 1997. He did not build it to keep it. He built it to hand it to the one person who could do something with it. The document at the center of this handover connects directly to the events that shaped Diana's isolation, her vulnerability during the Panorama period, and the conditions that allowed Camilla's position to be constructed on top of Diana's erasure. It is not a single letter. It is a body of evidence, and it arrives in William's hands, not as a personal inheritance, but as a political instrument. William received it as the future king. That framing matters enormously. A grieving son reads a document and mourns. A future king reads the same document and calculates. William is calculating. And the palace's deepest fear is not that the document will be leaked. It is that William now holds something he cannot undo, and that knowledge will shape every decision he makes about Camilla's role for the rest of his reign. Camilla's journey from the woman Diana, described as the third party in her marriage to Her Majesty the Queen, required one of the most sustained image rehabilitation operations in modern royal history. It took more than 2 decades. It required palace press offices, sympathetic media relationships, strategic public appearances, and a deliberate softening of the historical record. The transformation was real, but it was constructed. That construction rests on a foundation. The public accepting a particular version of events from the 1990s. The version in which Camilla's relationship with Charles was a private matter between consenting adults. The version in which Diana's suffering was complicated, mutual, and not reducible to betrayal. The version in which the past has been addressed, processed, and closed. In the years since the 2005 marriage, that version has largely held. In a time frame shorter than the palace would like, Camilla's advisors would understand exactly what this meant for every piece of the rehabilitation they had spent 20 years constructing. Any document that contradicts that version, especially one originating from Diana's own circle, preserved by her brother, and delivered to her son, is not merely embarrassing. It is existential. It does not chip at the edges of Camilla's position. It goes to the foundation. The Panorama forgeries already fractured the narrative once. They demonstrated that institutions had been willing to deceive in ways that directly affected Diana and the public's understanding of the marriage. Spencer's archive represents something the palace cannot replicate its response to. It cannot be discredited because it comes from Diana's own family. It cannot be suppressed because Spencer controls it entirely. And it cannot be spun because William already has it. The palace has not issued a denial. Not a formal one, not an informal one passed through a sympathetic journalist, not even the kind of carefully worded non-statement that royal communications teams deploy when they want to signal calm without confirming content. There has been nothing. And in royal protocol, silence is never accidental. Silence is a choice, and it is always a strategic one. Palace aides are described in well-sourced reports as monitoring the situation closely. That phrase, monitoring closely, is the language of genuine institutional concern. It is not the language used when something is considered trivial or easily managed. It is the language used when the people inside the building are not sure what is coming next, which, looking back, was either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid, because silence without a plan is not a strategy, it is a delay. King Charles finds himself in a position that is both politically and personally agonizing. His wife holds the title of Queen. His son holds a document that interrogates the legitimacy of everything that title was built upon. Charles has navigated this tension before, and the historical record does not suggest he handled it well. He is being asked to navigate it again, with higher stakes and less time. The courtiers who spent years carefully constructing Camilla's public rehabilitation are described by sources as deeply unsettled by Spencer's recent posture. They have watched him, noted the Althorpe visits, and tracked the deepening relationship between Spencer and William. They have not been able to produce a counter-strategy, because the one thing they cannot do is prove the document does not say what it says. For a while, things actually seemed fine. The rehabilitation appeared complete, the public had moved on, and the coronation had sealed Camilla's position in history. That didn't last. Diana understood, with extraordinary clarity, that she was being written out of the official story. The palace's preferred narrative had no room for her version of events. She was to be managed, then minimized, then eventually replaced in the public memory by a cleaner account of the marriage and its breakdown. She saw it happening in real time. The Panorama interview in November 1995 was not an act of desperation. It was an act of deliberate self-documentation. Diana sat down with Martin Bashir, not knowing the full extent of how she had been manipulated into that chair, and she spoke directly to the public over the heads of every institution that had tried to contain her. She said she would like to be a queen of people's hearts. She placed the story of her marriage into the public record in her own words, in her own voice, where the palace could not edit it. She entrusted the deeper truth to her brother. Not to a journalist, not to a publisher, not to a legal team. To Charles Spencer. Because she knew that the palace would never protect her version of events, and she knew that Spencer would never surrender it. Spencer has spent 27 years as something more than a grieving sibling. He has been a deliberate, methodical archivist. Every letter preserved, every record catalogued, every piece of evidence maintained with the kind of care that speaks not to sentiment but to purpose. The document William now holds is the product of that purpose. It is Diana's evidence, kept safe through nearly 3 decades of palace pressure, and delivered at precisely the moment when the person receiving it has the power to act on it. This is not a leak, it is a handover, from one generation's grief to the next generation's authority. William does not act on impulse. Everyone who knows him or has observed him closely over the past 2 decades will tell you the same thing. He is measured, he is patient, he is strategic in a way that his public persona of quiet duty is specifically designed to conceal. He has watched, he has waited, and now he is in possession of something that restructures every option available to him. The document does not need to become public to be devastating. Its power does not depend on a front page or a press conference. The simple fact of its existence, and William's possession of it, reshapes the internal power dynamic of the royal family in ways that no coronation ceremony can reverse. Camilla holds the title of Queen Consort. She received it on May 6, 2023, in front of the world. But a title is only as durable as the consensus that supports it. Camilla's advisors are not naive. They understand that a future king who holds documentation directly challenging the foundation of her rehabilitation will never extend her the full institutional deference that her title technically commands. The relationship between a reigning monarch and a queen consort from a previous marriage is already constitutionally delicate. Add a document of this nature, held by the heir, and that delicacy becomes something far more precarious. The coronation gave Camilla a crown. It cannot give her William's acceptance. And without that acceptance, genuine, not performed. Her position across a Williamite reign will be a title without warmth, a role without authority, a seat at a table where the host has already read everything. History is not finished with Diana Spencer. Charles Spencer has made absolutely certain of it. People thought they had the full picture of what Diana left behind. They were wrong. Diana's words in 1995 remain exactly as she delivered them. She would like to be a queen of people's hearts. 28 years after that interview, she remains exactly that. No image operation, no rehabilitation campaign, no coronation has managed to shift the public's fundamental emotional allegiance. Diana achieved in one BBC broadcast what the palace has been trying to undo ever since. Spencer's act of handing William the document is the closing movement of a promise made at a graveside in Northamptonshire in September 1997. Spencer stood over his sister's coffin and told the world that Diana's blood family intended to protect her sons from a system that had damaged her. That was not rhetoric. It was a commitment with a 27-year timeline. Camilla holds a title. William holds the truth. And in the long run, truth is the only currency that matters inside an institution whose entire legitimacy rests on the public's trust. The monarchy's future will be written by William, and he will write it with full knowledge of everything that came before. Subscribe now and drop your comment below. What do you think William does next?